शेतीप्रधान देशाचं महत्त्व लक्षात घेता देशभरात सिंचनाला प्रोत्साहन देण्यासाठी पंतप्रधान कृषी सिंचन योजना राबवणार असल्याचं केंद्रीय अर्थमंत्री अरुण जेटली यांनी लोकसभेत स्पष्ट केलं.
The Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana, bulk of our farmlands are rain-fed and dependent on monsoons. Therefore, there is a need to provide assured irrigation to mitigate risk. To improve access to irrigation, we propose to initiate a scheme, Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana. I propose to set aside 1,000 crores for this purpose. Government will initiate a scheme to provide to every farmer a soil health card at a mission mode. I propose to set aside a sum of rupees 100 crores for this purpose and an additional 56 crores to set up 100 mobile soil testing laboratories across the country. There has been a growing concern about the imbalance in the utilization of different types of fertilizers, resulting in the deterioration of the soil. Climate change is a reality which all of us have to face together. Agriculture as an activity is most prone to the vagaries of climate change. To meet this challenge, I propose to establish a national adaptation fund for climate change. As an initial sum of rupees 100 crores will be transferred to the fund. We are committed to sustaining a growth of 4% in agriculture, and for this we will bring technology-driven second green revolution with focus on higher productivity and include a protein revolution in an area of major focus. As a large number of landless farmers are unable to provide land title as guarantee, institutional finance is denied to them and they become vulnerable to money lenders. Usurious lending. I propose to provide finance to 5 lakh joint farming groups of Bhumihin Kisan through NABARD in the current financial year. Price volatility in agriculture produces and creates certain uncertainties and hardships to the farmers. To mitigate this, I am providing a sum of rupees 500 crores for establishing a price stabilization fund. The farmers' and consumers' interests will be further served by increasing competition and integrating markets across the country. To accelerate the setting up of a national market, the central government will work closely with the state governments to reorient their respective APMCs to provide the establishment of a private markets. The state government will also be encouraged to develop farmers markets in townships to enable the farmers to sell their products directly. I propose to set aside a sum of rupees 50 crores for development of indigenous cattle breeding and an equal opportunity of starting a blue revolution in inland fisheries. Banks are providing strong credit support to agricultural sector. A target of 8 lakh crores has been set aside for agriculture credit during 2014-15, for which I am confident that banks will surpass. Under the interest subvention scheme for short-term crop loans, banks are extending loans to farmers at a concessional rate of 7%. The farmers will get a further incentive of 3% for timely repayment. I propose to continue the scheme for 2014-15. NABARD operates the Rural Infrastructure Development Fund out of a priority sector lending shortfall of banks, which helps in creation of infrastructure in agriculture and rural sectors across the country. I propose to raise the corpus of RIDF by an additional 5,000 crores from the target given in the interim budget of 25,000 crores in the current financial year. Increasing warehousing capacity for increasing the shelf life of agriculture produces and thereby earning capacity of the farmers is utmost importance. Keeping in view the urgent need of availability of scientific warehousing infrastructure in the country, I propose an allocation of rupees 5,000 crores for the fund for the year 2014-15. The share of long-term investment credit in agriculture is going down as compared to short-term crop loan. This is severely hampering the asset creation in agriculture and allied activities. In order to give a boost to long-term investment credit in agriculture, I propose to set up a long-term rural credit fund in NABARD for the purposes of providing refinance support to cooperative banks and regional rural banks with an initial corpus of 5,000 crores. The short-term cooperative rural credit refinance fund was introduced in the union budget of 2008 and 9 with initial corpus of 5,000 crores. In order to ensure increased and uninterrupted credit flow to farmers and to avoid a high cost of market borrowings by NABARD, I propose to allocate an amount of rupees 5,000 crores for the STRC fund during 2014-15. The issue of profitability of small holdings based agriculture has assumed importance in view of increasing proportion of small and marginal farmers in the country. I propose to supplement NABARD's Producers Organization Development Fund for Producers Development and Upliftment called Produce with a sum of rupees 200 crores, which will be utilized for building 2,000 producers organizations across the country over the next 2 years. Government is committed to reform in the food sector. Restructuring FCI, reducing transportation and distribution losses, and efficacy of PDS would be taken up on priority. Government is also committed to provide wheat and rice at a reasonable price to the weaker sections in the society. Kisan Television, dedicated to the interest of agriculture and allied sectors, will be launched in the current year. This will disseminate real-time information to the farmers information regarding new farming techniques, water conservation, organic framing.